Yeah, we'll have to see how it shakes out. Okay, quickly before we have to go to break here, Michigan State, rocky one to say the least on the road against Ohio State tonight. An 80-69 victory for the Buckeyes. They were up 13-0 to start the game. This Buckeyes team was without Zed Key, was without Kyle Young, and Joey Brunk went for 18 points tonight on the Michigan State front court. This Spartan team is broken. Okay, when I alluded to a team who is potentially on the bubble that no one realizes, I'm talking about the Michigan State Spartans. I've seen enough of this team. I mean, this team, if not for just a good win-loss record in the non-conference, they would not be on the right side of the bubble right now. I believe they've lost 7 of their last 9 games, haven't beaten anybody with a pulse except for Purdue, and that game was a lot more about Purdue than it was about Michigan State. Ashton, what do you make of the Spartans right now? Are they just done? Are they cooked?
Yeah, I think they're done. And the reason I say that is that you heard Tom Izzo, a couple of days ago, question how hard they play. And anytime, the head coach is questioning your work ethic and how hard guys play on, particular possessions, I can't really believe in you. But ultimately, to me, this season came down to inconsistent guard play. I had Tyson Walker, AJ, Hogard. I had them as one of the top backcourts, especially in the Big Ten, and they didn't really play like it, not consistently. They had some games where they played well, but anytime you don't play, hard possession by possession, especially for a Michigan State team, for an Izzo coach team, it's hard for me to believe in.
Can I ask you a question, Greg? You watch the Big Ten, I think, more than I do, probably. Why doesn't Marcus Bingham play more?
Rob, I've been screaming it from the rafters, and Michigan State fans are even annoyed with me. The guy in the non-conference had the highest block rate in the country, was like a 10-8 and 4 blocks guy. And he was captaining a top 5 defense nationally in the country through 3 weeks. And then he got COVID, and then he had some quote unquote conditioning issues that may or may not have lingered for 3 months. But he's also been in the doghouse. I mean, there are games where Marcus Bingham just shows a total lack of effort, a total I don't want to be here mentality. Tom Izzo's called him out publicly. He's berated him in press conferences. But I don't know who to blame for it at this point. What I do know is that without Marcus Bingham in a 25-minute-a-game role, this team's horrible. I mean, that is the one thing that can swing them. And at this point, it looks very unlikely that that's ever going to return this season.
Yeah, to me, he's the anchor that allows you to be really, really good defensively. And I don't think that this team has enough weapons on the offensive end of the floor to be anything more than just like fine. If they're not really, really good defensively, they got to be able to win on that end. And also, it helps like that gets you out in transition. And we all know how good Michigan State is when they run. And Tom Izzo loves to break, blah blah blah, all this, that, and the third. But to me, it starts with having that anchor at the five. Like, look at the best defensive teams in college basketball. They all have someone at the rim that can erase everything. And to me, Bingham is that guy. And it's weird that he's not getting more minutes. So it's got to be something with Izzo and him, because I don't think Izzo is the kind of guy that's gonna not play. So he would figure that out.
Yeah. The other thing that would help, having any player that could even sniff the all-conference third team, having any player that was a lock pro. I mean, this team is just not that talented. And they can't make up for it when they are lacking leadership, lacking some toughness, lacking the defense. So we'll see. They're running out of time to turn it around. Quote unquote, Mr. March is 0-2 in March. We'll see where things go